Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and to the British campaign on Dip Classic, where we are currently launching invasions of central and northern Russia before I will eventually move over here and deal with the Russian Far East. But in the meantime, I am gathering ships over here to try and take Hawaii again, if possible. There are still the odd Soviet ship in the Med, but I think all of their ships are still trapped in the Black Sea. Yeah, because they have one. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, the main reason that you are joining me here today is it is time to build a new Battlecruiser. We have the Battlecruiser 2. Brand new hull for us to play around with. Now, the Invincibles could do 30 knots, right? Yeah, 30. So we're going to do the same, which means we're going to need reduced draft, beam, sorry. Invincibles for 20. That's not those. For 26. These are going to be the Gladstone class. Now, Invincible carries 8 12-inch guns. A fine armament, to be sure. But I think we might be able to do something a bit spicier. A couple of funnels. No, I did go standard bulkheads. Semi-oil, forced turbines. Although, yeah, forced. Because we now have access to the 15-inch Mark II. Oh yes, lovely stuff. And the question is, how many of these bad boys can we fit on this ship? Because I think the answer might be 4. Or rather, 4 turrets. And that would be very spicy indeed, but I think we're going to have to move everything forward a bit. Yeah. Yes, that is the same amount of main gun firepower as Hood. Could argue that she's overgunned, but I disagree. Now, this is just my initial design concept. I might change my mind, as we're probably not going to be able to fit much in the way of secondaries on this thing. Ooh, okay. Oh, maybe we can fit secondaries on this with 5. Sadly, not 5.25, but fit some 5-inch guns on. Perfect. Loads of secondaries. Start throwing all the components on. No, I'll probably stick with coincidence. So, Yeah, base fuse is more than enough. 2, maybe even 3-inch extended and superstructure. Deck armor, let's go 3 and 1.5. Relatively thick deck armor. Oops. 3, 1.5. Maximum main belt. 16 on the turret. Can I make them bigger? Big enough to get some better armor on them anyway. We'll go with 5.3 and we'll pretend they're 5.25s. I am significantly overweight. But that's fine. Because we have loads of range. So I'll cut that down for a start. And then we can look at the rest. Fuel, etc. Operational range, very heavy. But we have reduced that as much as possible. Engines and boilers, except I don't want to reduce speed. Bulkheads has already been reduced as much as we can. Turrets. Yeah, this might be too much for a ship of this size to go with an 8 gunner. I think we're going to have to go with a 6. But if we go with a 6 gun arrangement, well, what could I do here? We could go with a long nose, or we could do something a bit different. It's got a space here for yet more secondaries. Go absolutely all in on hordes of secondary guns. Oh, why is that so big? Aw. I have to do it manually. With just a little barbette. There we go. Which just apparently doesn't fit anything. Weird. It's huge, but does work. I was hoping I could get a third one in. With this one. I don't know the short version of that. No, apparently. It's so annoying that this one won't fit. But it won't. I'm pretty sure it won't anyway. Because that is the one I want to use. It adds a slot. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we've got 3 center lines. And let's add a couple more. Down the side. So we've got 8 on each side, twins. 3 center line. That is a lot of 5-inch gun. yes, I might be concerned about torpedo boats. However, we are overweight. Fortunately, these things are 42 tons apiece. So it might make sense to remove a few of them. Rather than going absolutely loco with it. I think we can also improve. Yeah, there you go. 104% is a bit more reasonable. Lower the barbette armour a little bit. I still need to lose 500 tons. Maybe not the crazy extended deck. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. 200 tons. Lose a funnel. Could lose a funnel. I think losing the forward funnel is better for the ship's balance. Yeah, that'll do it. What does it do to the range? It does reduce it a fair bit, but it does work. Okay. The Gladstone class. A Renown-ish design with the main armament and the speed. A lot more heavily armoured than a Renown. And with oodles of secondary guns. Yeah, I think that'll give us a pretty nice ability to deal with destroyers and the like. It's not the most protected, it's only on standard bulk kits, but I think they'll do very well indeed. Right, I decided to build 3, the Gladstone, the Ghost Sword, and the Galactica, all Patreon names. Thank you very much for those. The next question is where to put them. Now, these ships with their 15-inch guns, we've not tried those yet. They're a little bit different from the Invincibles. So I'd like to keep these at home. So I'm actually going to build all of them in Rosyth, I think. We'll keep them there as a battlecruiser squadron. I think that is our best bet. And we'll go attack the Russians. Let's see if this armoured cruiser decides to do anything. This is the Soviet Navy in its entirety. Welcome back. The Indomitable is now taking on the Soviet Navy in the form of the Archangel Michael, a Graf Orloff class heavy cruiser. I got bored watching her and not doing anything, so I thought, well, why not just send one of the ships out that needs a little bit of a sea trial. A very FU sea trial. Yeah, the Indomitables with their 6, they do actually have a heavier secondary armament than the Gladstones with the 6-inch. You can let me know which ship you prefer. They have actually come out quite similar, which is interesting. One with 15s and 5.25s, and one with 12s and 6s. Armour's very similar as well. Did I do conning tower? I don't think I did. I left the default conning tower on. Oh well. I realise it now. Too late. Firing already. Good chance to test the all big gun concept. Anyway, now we're in range. We can slow to cruise speed, which is 60 knots. That's good accuracy, that is. Hits. Missed. Missed again. Not that time. Raking fire absolutely devastated the ship and sunk it completely. Well, that's a very, very successful test. Admittedly, I am using a $148 million sledgehammer to crush a $50 million nut. But, still. Good stuff. Ukraine has been conquered by the Germans. Maybe they don't get to keep the Black Sea. Because we just gained control of central and northern Russia. The Pacific Fleet is busy trying to take Pearl. So I'm going to send the Agamemnon and her group to the Russian Far East. And we're going to send the Dreadnought and her group to the province I always forget about up here. As they're a bit faster. These guys are going to be tied up for a little bit, but they can be released and get in on the action soon enough as well. Welcome back. We have our next battleship class to build. Because we have the Dreadnought 3. And these are going to be using big boy guns. These are going to be using 15-inch guns, I think. Now, the Agamemnons and the Dreadnoughts, where are they? 25 knots, 25 knots, 25 knots for us here, which means we will need the reduced beam. Which means we'll probably aim for about 27,000 tons. So that's the same as the Agamemnon. Really, I don't get more tonnage. Well, let's actually see. Turbines. Let's go forced to start with. Actually, no. Let's go regular beam. Get some more tonnage out of this thing. 29,500 tons. It doesn't impact me too much. Yeah. The good tower. That tower is actually better. That's enough funnel. Alright, main guns. 15-inch. 1. 2. Now we do have casemates, so I'm not going to worry about trying to fit secondaries super firing over that gun. Standard barbette. Should be big enough, right? Looks a bit small, actually, but it's okay. And then move the A turret nice and snug. That's a lot of firepower. Casemates. Yeah, we don't have any Mark 4s or anything. 6-inch Mark 3s. All down the sides. Very tasty. Don't have quite the same... Oops. No, not done. Don't have quite the same terrifying speed that the Battlecruisers do. But that is a terrifying amount of firepower. Okay. Can I get some 3-inch guns in? 2 of them. Yeah, no. No point. Yeah, probably 2, maybe 2 or 3-inch extendeds. I actually think I built them with 0 conning tower armor. The other ones, 20-inch main belt. Sure, that's perfectly sensible. And again, I know that this will not fit. We cannot run around with that level of armour, but it's nice to know what the maximum would be. Realistically, it's quite hard to armour against these guns. Let's instead look at the 12-inch, which is the common caliber. Yeah, 15-inch main belt should be enough. 16 on the turret. The 6-inch guns, yeah, maybe slightly more, maybe 4-inch. We'll cut down the barbette armor a little bit to 12-inch, and that gets her in underweight. Yes, the Orions, not like the real Orions, which had 13.5s. We've just gone straight to 15. Yes. I mean, these are quite Queen Elizabeth-like. The real Queen Elizabeths, in that they're pretty fast. They carry 8 15-inch guns and a smeg ton of armour. Oh, Germany, your move. Yeah, for a ship in... What are we in, like 1908? Is it 1908 currently? 1909. Okay, so 1909, they take a few years to build. Yeah, that's spicy. Right. Agamemnons, we built 4. Dreadnought, we built 4. Of the Orions, we shall build 5. I quite like that. I quite like that design. Let's build 5 of them. I think they'll be solid enough. I might not keep them forever, but they're a pretty solid ship, I would say. I am just going to have to think of names. Orion is obviously fine. Hercules is fine. But I will think of better names for these two. These three, I should say. And we will build them at, well, technically in Rosyth, but really in Scalper Flow. Oh! Here's a surprise. We have sudden outbreak of peace. I can ask for quite a lot of stuff. Sakhalin Islands. Sure. No, actually no. Let's go for Central Asia. Yeah, because I'd have to take that with the army. And we gain control of Hawaii. Perfect. And now, time from Kazakhstan. But yes, we're looking pretty tasty here. Okay, they're not connected through Afghanistan, but I'm sure we can come to an agreement. Well, I don't need my ships going off doing whatever it is they're going off to do. You can head home. Where are the other ships? Going to Northern Passage. Don't do that. Go home. And we've taken Pearl, which is fantastic. Which means I can move the fleets here back to where they belong. So you can go back to India. And you can drop off a cruiser and then head for Singapore. Good. So I did choose names. Only problem being that there is technically a Conqueror in service. One of the other battleships is called Conqueror, so she will get renamed to something. I haven't decided what. Oh, I know. William the Conqueror. There you go. So we know which one's which. And yeah, we'll recover everything back. I'll switch everything to peacetime. We'll move to peacetime mode. However, look what the French are up to. They've revoked the Louisiana Purchase. And they're about to revoke the existence of the United States, which the US is powerless to prevent by the looks of it. Yeah, I think both the US and the Soviet Union are pretty much out of the game at this point. Japan will be out of the game if they end up at war with one of the big three, which is us, the French, and the Germans. Germany has been building up quite a nice little fleet, and we are on the precipice of war with them. But I'd like to get some of these ships finished before we go to war with Germany. I'd like to prepare for a war with Germany, because we will have to hit them in Greece. We'll probably have to sail into the Black Sea to hit them in Ukraine as well. We'll have to fight them in the Baltic. We will have to fight them in the North Sea. And we will have to fight them in the Pacific. They've grabbed quite a bit of Pacific territory. Quite a bit the former Dutch East Indies, the Philippines, and their little base down here in the Bismarck archipelago. And China. So it will be a full global war. But this many players out this early, or on the way out, is pretty crazy. It's basically just Britain, France, and Germany at this point. But I will see you in the next episode for whatever goes down between us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.